Log in with an ABC account and make ABC iView yours.
Scott Morrison pauses his campaign after a security car is involved in a crash in Tasmania. Mariupol under increased threat. Russia claims it's close to a complete capture. Headaches for airline passengers after a day of long queues at major airports. And punters more than happy to sing the blues as Byron Bay's iconic music festival returns. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Elias. 4 police officers attached to the Prime Minister's security detail have been injured in a serious car crash in Tasmania. Scott Morrison was not involved in the accident, but he's briefly suspended his campaign. Earlier, the PM had faced questions over his failure to deliver an anti-corruption watchdog, while Labor leader Anthony Albanese had to clarify his stance on border protection. Here's political editor Andrew Probyn.
Emergency on the campaign trail. A car carrying the Prime Minister's security detail crashing in northern Tasmania. 4 police officers injured in a nasty rollover and taken to hospital. Scott Morrison unharmed, but forced to cancel the rest of the day's schedule.
How long have you been here on this side?
The PM had begun his day in Launceston with a $200 million pledge to underpin the forestry industry.
Jobs, jobs, jobs.
A campaign focus anticipating the official jobless rate would tumble below 4% for the first time since the 1970s, only to be robbed by rounding.
Technically the number is 3.95, but obviously it's rounded up to 4%.
Where it's been for more than a month, although the Labor leader couldn't recall it on Monday.
I'm not sure what it is.
The Prime Minister today confronting difficulties of his own with his failure to deliver an anti-corruption watchdog.
It's a broken promise, isn't it?
No, it's not.
But you promised you would establish one in the last term. You have not. That's a broken promise.
We put forward our proposal in detailed legislation and it has not been supported by the Labor Party.
The reason why this Prime Minister doesn't want an anti-corruption commission is sitting on his front bench.
Having endured a torrid start to his campaign, the Labor leader's showing some grunt, showcasing his party's towering hope in the hunter.
While people want to buy our coal, we will sell them our coal. There's no doubt about that.
Anthony Albanese striking early against claims Labor's climate change policy threatens jobs in mining towns, but forced to clean up his stance on boat arrivals.
Could you just clarify whether or not you plan on ditching offshore processing?
Of course not. It was established in 2013 when I was the Deputy Prime Minister.
Who is this guy? That's what Australians are asking. He's had 3 years to tell them who he is. People know me, and when it comes to border protection, I tell you who knows who I am, the people smugglers.
Approaching the end of week 1, Scott Morrison's giving the firm impression he's happier campaigning than he is governing. Labor's had the worst of the week. Anthony Albanese's early stumble is being put down to complacency by those willing him to sharpen up. Easter's all about renewal, and it could be a leveller for the 2 leaders, both in search of redemption. Andrew Probyn, ABC News, Canberra.
ABC Vote Compass results show 85% of Australians believe the country has a problem with corruption. The survey has had more than 340,000 respondents so far. Australians have also told us what they think about a tax on petrol. Here's Vote Compass reporter Emily Baker to break down the numbers.
We've all been paying more at the petrol pump. For this dad of 2, price hikes mean he's less likely to take the car.
We try to avoid now car trips, so you will rather go out for a walk around the block instead of going to a playground in Moncrief or somewhere else.
We asked how much tax you think there should be on petrol. Based on data from Vote Compass, 43% of Australians wish it was lower. Almost 40% say they're comfortable with where it is now, and fewer than 15% say they want more tax.
The fuel excise has been halved for 6 months in the federal budget. Diane Deshmukh says that's welcome, if a little short-sighted.
Long term, we need to look into different options, I think.
Another big topic this election, COVID-19. The pandemic is still playing out nationwide.
We asked whether the federal government should impose further restrictions to control its spread. According to Vote Compass, 45% of Australians disagree there should be more restrictions. 27% are neutral, but almost 30% want more. That's more common among Australians 65 and older. Last year, Australia Talks told us 9 out of 10 Australians want a federal anti-corruption watchdog. Vote Compass asked how much of a problem you think corruption is in Australia today. The results were overwhelming. 49% of people say it's very much a problem. Another 36% say it's somewhat a problem. Only 1% of people believe it's not a problem at all. And it crosses party lines. 63% of Liberal and National voters say corruption's an issue, as well as about 90% of Labor and Green voters.
To tell us what you think and find out how your views align with those of Australia's political parties, visit Vote Compass online and fill out the survey yourself.
Russia claims it's on the brink of gaining full control of Mariupol, where it says more than 1,000 Ukrainian Marines have surrendered. But Ukraine says its forces are still fighting to defend the ruined city. The devastation left behind by departing Russian forces in the north is now being investigated by the International Criminal Court. Sean Rubenstein-Dunlop has been to the site of a mass grave in Bucha and has spoken with families looking for their loved ones. And a warning, this report contains distressing details.
It's hard to imagine anything more excruciating than this. Yulia Blahodatna travelled hundreds of kilometres to look for her husband in this mass grave on the outskirts of Kyiv. She says he was killed by a Russian soldier 5 weeks ago as he was delivering aid.
The sniper hit my husband in the spine, but he was still able to drive to the maternity home. He was lying there for 5 days, but nobody could get to him. Finally, they got him to a hospital in Bucha, and he died during surgery.
For a week, investigators have been digging out bodies in Bucha, a town now synonymous with barbarity. Yulia wants justice for her husband, Alexander, an investigative journalist, activist, mechanic and father.
I hope that the sniper is dead now. I pray for that every day, and all of them.
French investigators have arrived to help mount a war crimes case in the International Criminal Court.
During the occupation of Bucha by Russian forces, people were shot just because they spoke Ukrainian, helped out as volunteers, or supported our armed forces.
Are you confident that you'll be able to find enough evidence to mount a war crimes trial?
We have enough evidence already.
There's a putrid stench here as investigators dig out body after body from the soil. Russia's President Vladimir Putin describes this as fake, but there's no denying the gruesome reality of what we're seeing here.
To the southeast, in the besieged city of Mariupol, more than 20,000 civilians are believed to have been killed, but no one really knows the true toll. Moscow says it's on the brink of capturing the strategic port, which would be the first major city to fall since the invasion. Russian state TV has released unverified vision, purportedly of Ukrainian Marines surrendering. But while Ukraine says the city isn't lost yet, it concedes the final battle is close, as troops holed up in Mariupol are fast running out of supplies.
We won't give up, but we're encircled with no resupply of ammunition or food.
The brutality of the war is being measured in the innocent lives snatched away. After watching for hours, suddenly Yulia recognises one of the bodies. Is that him? She asks. Is that definitely him? She asks her friend. Does he have dentures? Her friend says. Yes, she says, and a big mole. Yes, it's him. The glare of the world's media is too much to bear. Her loss is one of more than 6,000 alleged war crimes under investigation in Ukraine. The US president calls it genocide, but any legal action is likely to be years away. Sean Rubenstein-Dunlop, ABC News, Bucha.
The travel advice is clear. If you are travelling by air this weekend,